well. This is definitely a surviving the season day, and I can't even describe. But it's also Sunday, and I want to sing a song just in case my kids are missing hearing me sing hymns. I don't think this is one that, but it's just really on my mind. So, here you go. I love you so. It's on page 237. Do what is right, the day dawn is breaking, hailing a future of freedom and light. Angels above us are silent notes taking of every action, then do what is right. Do what is right, let the consequence follow. Battle for freedom in spirit and might. And with stout hearts look ye forth till tomorrow. God will protect you, then do what is right. Okay, so here's the thing. The first part is, I don't even know if I'm singing the first part properly, because I can't fully remember and I'm too tired, and some things have happened over the last, I was introduced to a YouTube channel and family that, well, I'm putting the video up, so I guess I can just say it. It's called Mommy of Five, and then there's like a Daddy of Five, one, and then the Family of Five. Once I discovered them, I was infuriated with the way that their children were being treated. And so I made a video, and then I did a bunch of research yesterday, as much and as little as possible, to find out whether or not it was appropriate for me to blast them in a public forum. Anyway, don't watch that unless you really want to see me absolutely furious. And I just need to say, actually, before I sing anymore and explain a couple things about that verse that I want to explain, to my oldest especially, I'm so sorry, sweetie. I grabbed and squeezed your arms. You know, it wasn't abusive compared to what I grew up with. It wasn't abusive at all in my mind, considering the fact that I didn't ever leave bruises or anything. The one time that I harmed you with the dog walking situation, when I was terrified and it was busy traffic, and you know, I was taking a risk, allowing you that responsibility that you had begged for in the first place. My nails were too long, and I squeezed, and I don't know if you remember that or not, but I definitely do, and I'm sorry about that. I don't believe that I ever squeezed, you know, anybody else's arms, to be honest. I think it was just you, my sweet oldest, and I'm so sorry. If I did, then I'm so sorry to your others as well. There were a lot of things that I knew and remembered from my childhood, and I made sure that I did not perpetuate those things on you, but there were some things that I didn't know how else to handle at the times, and so I would get down and quiet in your face, except for the one time that I squeezed and my nails were too long, and I yelled that time for sure. But I would get you know, quiet and down on your level, but I would squeeze. And I didn't leave bruises. Of course I didn't leave bruises. I wasn't trying to hurt you, but I know I was squeezing more than your tiny little body should have had to deal with. And so I'm really sorry about that. And that's, and I wish I could change that, and I can't. But I can promise you that I will never do that to another child ever again. And anyway, so I'm feeling challenged this morning for a variety of reasons. And this verse 1 of I want you guys, when you feel like it, maybe someday, to research the words, you know, what this stuff means, because it's like, you know, like stout heart, you know, like that's not something that a lot of people think about or know what it is these days. It's really valuable information. So I just want to say a little bit, because I've always loved this song, particularly because do what is right, let the consequence follow. I've always been like, okay, I'm just going to do my very best to do what I feel is right and isn't going to harm anyone to the best of my ability. And, of course, there have been the times where I've had to stand up for myself, or, you know, the time with my oldest when I squeezed you too tight after you did not follow my instructions to the letter while walking the dog, and it scared me so bad because of the road that we were on. And I was hollering and screaming, trying to get your attention, and you couldn't hear me, and you walked the other direction, and I didn't have enough energy to carry the baby while running after you, so that by the time I got to you, yeah, I was terrified of so many things, and I was angry, and it was too much. And we've talked about this before, but now I have a greater understanding of it even than I did then, because my body has been so much more vulnerable, and the way that other people have handled my physical frame has shown me just how much more careful you need to be handling a tiny child physical frame. And anyway, so I've always lived by do what is right, let the consequence follow to the best of my ability, and it has brought me a ton of peace. We can't control the outcome. We can't control the results. We can only control, you know, our part, and we can only do the best we can to make peace with our choices and our actions, and then, you know, let the consequence follow, and then battle for freedom in spirit and might. I don't believe this means that we're supposed to actually battle physically in might, you know, in body and hurting each other, you know, but I do believe that we are to do everything in our power to make sure that we maintain our own physical freedom and the physical freedom of those that we are responsible for. And so I like that a lot. And with stout hearts, you look ye forth till tomorrow. So, I mean, that's just, I could talk for hours on that alone. God will protect you, then do what is right. Now, this God will protect you. You know, there were points in time where I got this idea in my head that then I wouldn't be harmed. I mean, especially because, you know, car accidents, and I would walk away, you know, it would flip around and upside down, and I'd walk away without a scratch or a bruise on me, you know. So I had this feeling and idea that if I would just, you know, then nothing bad would ever happen to me, that somehow I got this idea that all bad things happening mean that you have done something against what God would want you to. And that's not true. I mean, if you take Job in the Old Testament as an example, it shows, you know, and there's so many other examples I could talk about, and I wish that I could come up with an example that has nothing to do with the Bible, so that I won't have people who are Bible bashers really annoy the crap out of me. But I guess, I mean, whatever. That's the example that I've come up with. If anyone has a problem with that, go ahead and have a problem with it. That's just fine. Um, but this is my song for Sunday for my children. Who I have a right to, I get that this is on a public forum, but I have a right to talk to my kids and give examples of whom and when and how, however I so desire. For the most part, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of parents out there who are thinking that they can treat their kids however they so desire, or say or speak to their children however they so desire, and that's not cool. That's not okay. Mothers and fathers need to learn how to manage their tongues and their assumptions and their reactions to their children, remembering that their children are vulnerable and at their mercy. Regardless of how intelligent, regardless of how much attitude, regardless of whatever, parents are not supposed to and allowed to, and it's not okay to just, say and do whatever you so desire. I'm just saying that I can freaking talk to my children about the Bible if I want, and if you want to be judgmental, then whatever. Okay, I'm trying. Kids, I love you, I promise. I'm trying to focus on interacting just with you, but then because my mind can't keep forgetting fully for more than, a minute or two or three at a time, then that anyone could watch this and anyone could say anything that they want to, then sometimes I get a little off track and I apologize. But I really believe God will protect you, then do what is right. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to have hardships and difficulty and pain and some level of suffering. I just think that in the long run, the core of who you are will be protected. Your inner soul and self, the part of you that was before you were a physical being, the part of you that will remain long after you are a physical being. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what I think that this is talking about. So anyway, I just freaking love this chorus, and it has helped me through countless experiences of trying to figure out what choice to make, because my mind can come up with all sorts of, not just probabilities, but, plausibilities. And, but then I have to go with the one that feels the most peaceful. And I have to tell you, there have been so many things that have felt peaceful that have ended up having massive consequences that I would never have imagined, that I have not been happy with. And my hand is starting to shake. Maybe I will only be able to sing the one verse in that case. I better sing the chorus if I can. You know what, let me just a little bit, I'll read the last verse. Sing, whatever. Do what is right, be faithful and fearless. Onward, press onward, the goal is in sight. Eyes that are wet now, ere long will be tearless. Blessings await you in doing what's right. Do what is right, let the consequence follow. Battle for freedom in spirit and might. And with stout hearts look ye forth till tomorrow. God will protect you, then do what is right. Okay, that totally bit the singing part, and I apologize, but the words, pay attention to the words and allow yourself to gain comfort and confidence and trust that even if things go crappy for a while, it'll work out in the long run, okay? This is what I tell myself, and I love you.